What's happening, guys? I'm Dan. Welcome back to another episode of Poor Michigan Reviews. I have a Founders beer for you today, and it is going to be Cerise, I believe is how you pronounce it, which is cherries in French, guys. So I believe this is a cherry beer. It is obviously a cherry beer. It's an ale brewed with cherries. It reminds me a lot of Rubaeus, guys. That is going to be raspberries from Founders, but this is going to be cherries this time around. So we are clocking in at 5.7%, 15 IBUs, and I do believe that they used to make this once a year quite some time ago, guys. Ever since the brewery kind of sold or they kind of changed the dynamic of the brewery, I believe that they have been looking and brewing for kind of the old styles they used to do once upon a time. But I believe Cerise or Cherries, I don't know how you even say it, but I think it's Cherries in French, but I think that this was one they did once a year, once upon a time, guys. So I don't know if it was like 2010, 11, 12, somewhere in that time, but I could be mistaken. I haven't done my proper homework on this one, guys, but I'm excited to try it. It came back around in 6-packs. I think this is going to be $9.99 for a 6-pack, so let's crack into it. I didn't look at the canned on date. Let's see. This was canned on 5/20, and today is the 12th of June, so still pretty fresh, guys. Pretty darn fresh. Let's go to it. Okay, so we are pouring a nice pinkish hue, pinkish ruby contour to it, guys. Crazy good bubbling going on in there. That looks a lot darker on camera, I'd say. I think it's a little bit more bright pink towards the middle in the sunlight, guys, but really, yeah, you got a little bit of intertwined dark pink to almost a small copper hue to it as well, honestly, but it looks really, really solid in the glass, guys, for a fruited beer. I don't know if I'm missing anything else about this beer. Let me see. I don't think there's much to it. I think it just says it's an ale with cherries. That's all we got, and that's all we know, guys. So I've never had this. I don't recall this back in the day because I wasn't old enough at the time to even worry about stuff like this. So I think this is my first time trying this, guys. Let's go do an aroma. It smells like a beer still. Like I get nice, subtle, sweet hints of cherries, and there's a little bit of like tartness coming off as well, but it still reminds me of a beer, which I like. It's still got like this grainy, slight sweet malt complex to it. It doesn't remind me of just fruit per se. It is a nice marriage of a fruit beer and a regular beer to me, honestly. I don't get crazy aromas popping off the top, but certainly it is cherry. But it's subtle, very subtle. Let's go to a cheers, guys. This is the Cerise or Cherries, however you want to say it. Oh, wow. Wow. It's quite sweet, actually, but quite tart on the back end, actually. So it does both there, which is actually very surprising. It's sweet, but also very, very tart on the back end for being a normal ale with cherries. That is very refreshing. I mean, I like that it's at 5.7. That's a good range of ABV. I get no alcohol detection at all in this beer. Like I said, very kind of refreshing, light, a little bit of like cereal grain to it. It's quite grainy. But the cherries come out and play quite a bit. I mean, you're getting a juicy, sweet dose of cherries. Really, you are. And then it almost comes across that there could be like some sort of extract in it in a way, but on the back end I get more of a normal cherry feel to a little bit of that nice bitter kind of tart thing, just ever so slightly on the back end. It's my palate's adjusted a little bit. At first it was quite tart, but I still get nice bursts of tartness on the back end finish here, guys, with this cherry ale. That's pretty impressive. See, now I get more dryness. So It came across very sweet when I first started. And a couple sips in now, guys, I get more kind of Montmorency tartness. I don't know if it happens to be Montmorency. It doesn't specify, but I get more of a Montmorency tartness on the back end. I get nice fruity bursts of cherry specifically. I don't get any other fruits in there. That's pretty obvious. You could make a case that there could be raspberries, but it does. I'm going there because it reminds me of Rubaeus. Rubaeus might be a little bit drier. And just kind of a little bit different mouthfeel. But this one's quite light, very refreshing. I think it's very comparable to Rubaeus, honestly. It just comes across a lot more, I'd say refreshing and tart on the back end. Maybe sweetness lingers a bit, but that is drying out pretty fairly well on the back end, guys. That's a very good offering from Founders. That's what they do. They make great beers, and it's one they brought back from the old times, so I do love that they bring around their old beers again. That's very cool. If you like fruit beers, you're probably going to like this one. If you like a little bit of like sour beers, something like that, this might be up your alley as well. It mimics a little bit of a sour on the back end, I would say. Yeah, a little bit, maybe a little syrupy. It's very light and refreshing, but little tiny, almost syrupy thing, which I think's attributed to extract. Honestly, there's got to be some kind of extract in here, in my opinion. I don't know, I could be wrong. But overall, very good beer. I like it. Nice summer offering. It's a different style, one that I don't typically go for, but nice to try, guys. Nice to have on a hot summer day. As far as rating, I think I'm going to go with a 3.7 out of 5. It's not my favorite category per se. I think it's a well-done beer. I could have bumped it up, but that's just how I'm feeling today, guys. It's a 3.7 out of 5 for me. It's been another episode of Poor Michigan Reviews. I appreciate you clicking on the video. If you could, hit that subscribe button. If not, thanks for clicking on the video, guys. I'm over and out. Cheers.